program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, website, or Inner Miami Marketing, LLC. It's time for Kai's Corner on OnsideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
Good morning. Here at beautiful Drive Pink Stadium, there is not a cloud in the sky. It is sunny everywhere you can look around us. I am that man, Kai Chen Chisholm. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at Samurai Radio. That's at SAMURAIIRADIO. It's a great morning. I'm in a great jersey right now. I'm in a throwback New York Giants Jeremy Shockey number 80 jersey. I love it. Shout out to my brother as he got me this. Shout out to my brother Richie. This is what he gave me, his old jersey from way back when. It's a Reebok sponsored jersey. If you're on YouTube, you can see that. Very, 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 very much in love with having just the greatest thing possible, and that being this beautiful jersey. But as always, joining me, the man, the myth, the legend, the host of the Square Circle Digest, Mr. Sean Stanley.
The pleasure is all mine, Mr. Kai Chen Chisholm.
The pleasure is mine, Mr. Sean Stanley. I take that from you as there. So, we have a great show for you guys today. We're going to talk a lot about a lot of different sports, and thankfully there's a lot to talk about as things kind of wind down a little bit in terms of I guess things that are happening around the sports world, but not if you like soccer. If you like soccer or you like world football, oh man, that's getting fantastic. The month of June, it's going to be great, and I encourage you to watch. Mr. Sean Stanley, that's a call out to you if you already aren't planning on doing so, because it is going to be a fantastic month. I want to try to get the actual level of what is going to happen so I can read to everyone the greatness that is going to be June's must-see soccer, and this from Fox Sports. We'll get to that in a second. Today we're going to have on a couple of guys that are very, very good to not only this show, but then also just in general into this world. We're going to have on Ira Winderman in the next segment. That'll be a part of our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Reports. Here on Onside Radio, you can catch Ira throughout the week on all shows, including mine, usually here on Fridays at this 10:20 slot, where we get to sit down and talk with Ira, and always a lot of fun to do so. And we're also going to have on Mr. Alex Aguirre himself, the man who comes in every single day here, another producer here at Onside Radio, who I'm sure if you listen to Big O's show, if you listen to Dono's show, you know who Alex is. He's going to come on and he's going to talk some baseball with us. So we're going to talk about some Miami Marlins, as much as it pains me to do so. All joking aside, of course, I am interested in talking about the Miami Marlins, and it seems like every single day when Alex comes in, I do say some little jab here and there about the Marlins, and I want to get him on and be able to talk about it, also promote the show that he does on Saturdays, Deep Into the Count from 1 to 2. So if you want to listen to some Marlins talk, you hear Alex, you hear what you like, you love his voice, then you can come out there and listen to him every single Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. here at Onside Radio. So with that, we also have our polls for the day. And, of course, if you haven't been watching the polls throughout the week, you are in for a good time, as you have 2 hours left to vote on any poll that we have released at all this entire week. Of course, we're running with a new system. And thus far, in about the 2 or 3 weeks that we've been doing it, it's been fantastic. I love it a lot. I think it gives an opportunity for people to vote if they haven't already. Of course, sometimes retweets for certain things. If you have someone that retweets it or anything like that, even from Onside, the hosts here, when we all retweet all of our stuff, usually, it's just the actual segments. So getting the polls out there in that 3 hour slot was a little bit difficult. But now if someone catches a retweet a little bit later, as they're scrolling through their timeline, maybe later in the day, they can go through. And if they see, oh, I didn't vote on this, I didn't vote on that, they can go through and vote. So I think it's been very, very cool to get everyone's voices heard, not only during the show, but afterwards as well. But again, it's our last day, 2 hours in order to get your vote heard. They will close. It's really about 2.5 hours. All polls will close around 12:30 to 12:45 because it does vary from what time they were posted. Because sometimes I would post them up at 9:30, sometimes at 9:45, et cetera, et cetera. So they'll close around pretty much around 12:30, 12:45 is the deadline there if you want to have your voice be heard for this week's polls for the week. So today's polls, more specifically, are both bubble finals teams are out from last season. How do you feel about it? Are they hashtag bubble frauds? The NBA playoffs are going to be amazing now because now we get to just get rid of LeBron. We get rid of the Heat fans. We get rid of all this stuff. It's going to be great to watch. Well, how do you feel about that? Do you think the playoffs are going to be great now? Or more commonly, what I thought was going to be the choice, and thus far it is, the short off season sucked. And I think that's what it is. I think it sucked for both, the Lakers, and I think it sucked for the Heat, but the Lakers also just, I don't even know what to say with those last two games, to be really honest with you. And then I decided to go a little bit different here, and I know that it's going to be one of the ones that isn't Dolphins or Heat focused, so I know it's going to be a little bit lesser on the poll scales there, but I think it's a very interesting one, saying, what's better on a hot summer's day, an ice-cold lemonade or a good ice-cold beer? And I think that that's a great question to have because, we're getting into summer. Although summer is kind of like a rainy season here in Miami as we get into hurricane season and as we shout out to Toast, by the way. But as we get into hurricane season, as we do everything we got to do here, also we get some hot summer days here in Miami. And I wanted to ask and beg the question, what is better, an ice cold lemonade, getting some nice cold lemonade as you're out there, maybe driving around, or would you rather be sitting outside with a nice ice cold beer? And I know a lot of people are beer people. I personally am not a beer person. I am a very big vodka guy myself, so that is that for me. But if you missed any of the polls and you're here in the YouTube chat, and honestly, if you're anywhere listening, whether you're on Podbean Live or you're listening on any of these radio apps, come over on YouTube. Good morning to everyone who's watching on YouTube. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys every single day here, every single morning, having a conversation and being able to really just have a great time here every single morning. As I've always said, mornings are not kind with myself. I do not like mornings, but I've enjoyed being here in mornings. Tomorrow will actually mark 3 months since we started going full-time, or excuse me, not tomorrow. The 7th, so Monday, will actually, that's the holiday. That comes full circle. I love that. I love that that comes full circle. Or I guess it's technically the 8th, but we're going to go with Monday. We're just for the full circle thing. Technically, March 8th is when we started going full-time Monday through Friday here at Kai's Corner. So technically, it'll be next Tuesday, not Monday. I was thinking, the 5th because my birthday was the 5th of March, and that's when we made the announcement, essentially, and everything like that. But it is what it is. Anyways, so next Tuesday will be 3 months since we started going here, so I really appreciate that from all of you. I think it's been a fantastic 3 months, and it's made me enjoy a lot of things a lot better, and things have been great. So shout out to all of you who watch and listen, and the loyal ones here that come out and listen every single morning. But I want to start with the playoffs because as we lead into IRA, I want to keep some basketball before we get into soccer. I think the hour 2 might be a little more soccer focused. I'm not 100% sure yet. Depends how certain things lead us there. But yesterday was awesome, and I know shout out to Big O because he got something clipped on something that I said the other day, yesterday. I can't remember what team it was that I was looking through. I think it might have been, I don't even remember. I think it might have been the Suns, in which, it was the Suns. So the Suns blew out the Lakers by 30 points on Tuesday when they took a 3-2 lead. And I was very vocal on the fact that I thought it was funny that Cameron Payne, of all people, scored 16 points. So that was in our playoff review there. But from that, I think we also have this clipped. We have a sound from that, don't we, Sean? Of me going, Cameron Payne? I believe that there's some sound from that, I'm sure. It was pretty funny. Going through the NBA playoffs. 16 out of Cameron Payne. Out of Cameron Payne. 16 out of Cameron Payne. Out of Cameron Payne. It's true. I couldn't believe that the Lakers let him get 16 points. Out of Cameron Payne. Out of Cameron Payne. Of all people. He got 7 last night, so it is what it is, Cameron Payne, 7 points, cool. But Devin Booker last night, just wow. 47 points. Him and Luka have been putting on shows for their respective teams. I know that, You've gotten some good here and there from DeAndre Ayton. Jay Crowder put in a great performance yesterday. Shout out to Jay Crowder, by the way. And I'm sure being able to be on the Suns and take out the Lakers after a finals loss last season with the Heat, in which I'm sure he and everybody in this entire world thought if they were healthy, they would have beat the Lakers. I truthfully still believe that to this day. And it's not just I like the Heat. I think if that Heat team was healthy, I think that they beat the Lakers last season in the bubble, and we get our 4th championship here in Miami. But, shout out to Jay Crowder. Happy for him. But really the Suns in general. I mean, Chris Paul had a great night with 12 assists, and the entire team, I just think I'm so happy that this Suns team got past the Lakers, because once the Lakers won that game against the Warriors, and everyone was like, oh, this is the easiest matchup. The Lakers are going to get to the finals. They're going to blow past the Suns, and then they just have an easy route to get to the finals. This is going to be great. This is going to be awesome. They're just going to blow by everybody. Well, I don't think so, because the Suns were able to get that win, and then the Nuggets with Nikola Jokic, someone who a lot of people are saying should be the MVP. He's been playing, I think, very, very well. He had a great game last night. I mean, he's had a great game all series. I mean, he had 36 points last night. Michael Porter Jr. had 26. Remember, Michael Porter Jr. was supposed to be a huge, huge first-round pick. Then he had his back injury. He ends up with the Nuggets. And now we have a couple of our, game ones first-round matchups set. Tomorrow we'll have Bucks versus Nets for the first game. And then on Sunday we'll have Hawks Sixers, which I don't even know what to think about that series, to be honest with you. And then we'll get the Nuggets and the Suns on Monday night. We'll get to game 2 of the Bucks Nets, and then we'll have Nuggets and Suns game 1. And then today we get to kind of see how everything's going to go down. Who are the Jazz going to face? Is it going to be the Clippers or the Mavericks? What's the situation going to be? I really hope that the Mavericks make it work. And we'll know pretty much, I'm guessing Tuesday would be their first game. If they go into a game 7, I'm sure they'll have Monday off. And then either Tuesday or Wednesday will be game 1 of the Jazz versus whoever wins that. I really hope that the Mavericks pull it off. I don't like the Mavericks at all, even though I like Dirk Nowitzki. Obviously he's retired, but I like Dirk Nowitzki a lot. He's a Bayern Munich fan as well, and he's German, so obviously that plays into it. But I want them and Luka Doncic to win so bad. Luka Doncic went absolutely insane that night, in which he pretty much won them the game. Kristaps Porzingis hasn't really been anything since they traded for him, and I just think it's cool too, because Luka Doncic wears number 77. Like, it's such a random number. You don't see that a lot now, and he came from Spain and Real Madrid, playing basketball, and then comes here, and he's just been dominant since they drafted him. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm very, very excited to continue to see that series go along, and I really, really want the Mavericks to win tonight. That'll be at 9 p.m. And coming up next, we'll talk with Ira Winderman a lot about what's going to happen. What does he think some of these series are going to get to? And then obviously we'll talk about the Miami Heat as well. But since they're not in the playoffs, there's not too much to talk about, maybe except for rumors and stuff like that. Maybe we'll try to get him to see if we can bite on some Damian Lillard stuff. Who knows if we'll be able to do that. But we'll be talking with Ira Winderman next. And of course, like mentioned, Heat and NBA fans, you can catch Ira here exclusively at OnSideRadio.com with our accurate Pembroke Pines Miami Heat reports. You can catch him throughout the week at OnSideRadio.com on all of our shows. And when news breaks, basketball fans know Onside Radio is the place to get the insight you need.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat Rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Fight fans, July 16th, it's another bare-knuckle battle as BYB Extreme showcases another fight card at Hard Rock Hollywood. As we get ready for BYB 6, let's find out more about the fighters, like Christine Knuckles Stanley. The lady from Lake Bay, Washington loves to put people to sleep and makes it a hobby to enjoy her sleep. Christine stands 5'5" and 135 pounds and sports an undefeated mark of 2-0. The painter by day, born in Everett, Washington, is ready for the Trigon Challenge. The Trigon, the smallest and most confrontational ring in combat sports. Catch the power of Christine Knuckles Stanley at BYB 6, live at Hard Rock Hollywood, July 16th. Watch it on stonefaces.tv. Don't miss BYB 6 at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Hollywood.
This Inter Miami CF Minute is brought to you by Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world and a great place to watch Inter Miami CF. Stout features Clonakilty Whiskies, the world's best Irish whiskey.
Inter Miami have some very exciting prospects and names to be excited about as they're now making their names for themselves on the international stage. As we know, Jovan Jones is a Trinidad and Tobago regular, and he has been called up to the national team during this international break. Unfortunately, Rodolfo Pizarro did not play last night in the CONCACAF Nations League semifinal for Mexico against Costa Rica. I don't know if he's with the squad at the moment, but also Darren Reyes, a Fort Lauderdale CF player, a 17-year-old Cuban international, came off the bench last night against the British Virgin Islands and scored a goal en route to their 5-0 victory. Shout out Darren Reyes.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio. It's time to talk Miami Heat with NBA insider Ira Winderman. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Report, exclusively at OnSideRadio.com. Let's go over the latest headlines locally with the Miami Heat and league-wide in the NBA with our very own Ira Winderman.
All right, getting ready to talk with Ira Winderman here. Of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Ira, how's it going, man?
Well, you know, after Pat Riley spoke last night, you literally sit down yesterday afternoon, you sit down and you parse through all the words, and yeah, I agree, it's going to be an interesting offseason, but I'm not so sure that he necessarily truly put all his chips on the table when he offered his comments.
Hey, Ira, Tyler Hero is a core player, man.
You know, it's funny. I'm actually sitting here right now as we talk, writing a story for the Sun Sentinel for tomorrow's paper and online later today at sunsentinel.com, parsing through those exact words. And as I wrote, when you look at, and Kai, you know this, at the Heat's potential assets, the Heat don't have a lot of assets to put on the table. That
Right.
if someone were to come to the Heat right now and say, player X is available, we know you're interested, what do you got? Well, the Heat don't got a lot because of all their impending free agents, because of their older players, because of the desire not to trade our core, obviously their two-man core of Butler and Adebayo. So honestly, it would seem like every conversation would start with Tyler Hero. So I think what Pat Riley did yesterday is what anyone does: is you play up your assets. Is you sort of point to, hey, this is something special. He's not going anywhere. While the subtext is, but with the right offer.
I mean, it's just, what do you make? I guess besides just the Tyler stuff, he mentioned, and you put in your article there at the Sun Sentinel, mentioned it himself, saying with Kendrick Nunn that he's a hell of a player, and with Robinson could be considered the top shooter in the NBA on those quotes, and then went on to talk more about them. You would have to think this time, well, not even this time last year. If we go like last year, August, last year into October, of course, these players had way more value on them, and they had the opportunity to go out there and get certain players. Do you think that maybe they might regret not biting and maybe giving away one of these young guys to go out there and get someone that could have been a huge difference maker for the team?
Well, it's interesting. I don't know necessarily if they had more value, say, coming off last season, or even, to be honest with you, at the trading deadline. I think Kendrick Nunn clearly reestablished his value for a potential sign-and trade with the solid season he had, arguably better than Tyler Hero's season. So I think, I don't want to say waiting, but I think by building the value, there's more of a chip potentially to be put in play. I think Duncan Robinson did the same. I know he had a slump in the middle of the season a little bit, but you know what? It's one thing to do it for one season, but it's another thing for the second season in a row to be top 4 in three-pointers made in the NBA. I think that builds his value for a potential sign-and trade as well. So I think by not rushing to market, I don't think the Heat hurt themselves. The difference is, and Kai, you remember this, at the March 25th NBA trading deadline, Pat Riley swore by Tyler Hero. There was talk about him possibly being moved in the Victor Oladipo trade, which they didn't have to do, the Kyle Lowry trade, which they decided not to do. I'm not so sure they were sold anymore. I'm not so sure that for everything Pat Riley said about Tyler Hero being a core player, that he's an essential part of what they are planning going forward. So he stands out there. And again, here's the difference, Kai. Both Kendrick Nunn and Duncan Robinson are restricted free agents. They have the right, the Heat have the right to refuse outside offers to them, but the players have the right to go to any team of their choice and solicit an offer. So it's not necessarily them going where the Heat want them to go, but the Heat have to work with them. With Tyler Hero, there are no strings attached. Tyler Hero can be traded at any time for anyone, anywhere. There really isn't another player like that on the roster. I mean, there's probably KZ Okpala and Precious Achiuwa in that situation, and that's it. Other guys have team options, restricted, unrestricted free agents. So there's not a lot to work with right now. There's not a lot to work with in the period before the July 29th NBA draft.
Do you think that all three of these guys will be, or maybe not all three, which do you expect most likely to be back next season once we're in that first regular season game out of those three in Robinson, Nunn, and Tyler?
I'd say Duncan Robinson, number one, because he functions as a way of alleviating pressure on the team's leading men in Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo with the spacing. Probably Duncan Robinson also because for all the talk of the three-point shooters the Heat had in the bubble and going to the NBA Finals in 2020, he was really their only consistent three-point threat for most of the season. So I would put him number one. Number two is interesting because Kendrick Nunn had a really good season. His height's a concern. You can be a 6'2" shooting guard playing alongside a big point guard. The Heat don't have a big point guard. If Kyle Lowry is going to become their point guard, they won't have a big point guard. So it's a matter of physique and build, and Tyler's more of a rebounder. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out amongst the two, between the two of them, and amongst the three of them, I don't think more than two at most of those three are returning.
And then if it's Duncan, what are you expecting him to get at a contract deal there?
You know, it's interesting. I know people have mentioned $15 million for Kendrick, which I think is too high, but, it only takes one team. I think when you look at the shooters' money from last offseason, whether it's Bogdanovich going to Atlanta, whether it's Davis Bertans re-signing with Washington, Joe Harris with the Nets, those deals ran in the $18 million range. I wonder if Duncan doesn't sit back a little bit and say he won't be the same player elsewhere, that he might be featured here, that he likes being here. So he might be more amenable at a more reasonable price. I would say at least $15 million and possibly closer to $17 million. I'm not so sure that's a prudent investment. But you know what, Kai? When you don't have other options, you sometimes get forced into something like that. This is not going to be Dion Waiters. This is not going to be James Johnson. This is not going to be sign a guy and you lose him. This is a young guy who has been consistent in the one thing he does very, very well throughout his career. Dion Waiters, when he re-signed, never showed that consistency to that point. James Johnson never showed the consistency to that point. So I think it's a lot different than a lot of the worries and concerns that Heat fans have about bringing someone back still somewhat untested.
Ira, and we're talking with Ira Winderman here, part of our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Reports. You can follow him, of course, on Twitter at IraHeatBeat. what about these big names? Of course, all these Heat fans always want to get in a big fish. One of them might be on the brink of elimination tonight. He is on the brink of elimination, but who knows if they'll actually get eliminated.
Sure.
And then, of course, everyone wants to talk about Bradley Beal, and then everyone wants to talk about, even Damian Lillard was like, they just anyone that they could possibly get their hands on. Do you think that the Heat are even players for any of these potential big guys?
I think the Heat are players for every single one of them. Okay. I think whether the Heat are possible for any of them is the real story. I mean, that's what you do. When you are a team that goes out early in the playoffs, you look for alternatives. When other teams go out early in the playoffs, you look at their options. So certainly if Kawhi crashes and burns against Dallas tonight or in their Sunday game, if it goes to Game 7, I think that has to be on the table, at least the possibility where it wouldn't have been with the deep playoff run. Same thing when you look at what happened to Bradley Beal. He never said in that post-game press conference, I don't know if you played any of that sound, that he wants to come back. He sort of left it very open-ended that he wants to win. The Lillard situation is interesting because it's not just Damian Lillard. He was not talking. He just wants to be in the right situation. So could that break free C.J. McCollum, who we certainly know has had his moments against the Heat and would provide the kind of shooting that they lack this season? So, I think the first round of these playoffs, Dennis Schroeder, another name based after the Lakers crash and burn. There are a lot of names. There's a lot of early stuff you can get to here. The problem, Kai, is this. The Heat don't have a draft choice to get to the early part of the equation. Most of the machinations done ahead of the draft involve draft picks. We'll take your pick, we'll wait, we'll see who's available, something like that. The Heat don't have a pick in the first or second round, so that's going to be limiting to them. The one thing one of my readers threw out today in Ask Ira at SunSentinel.com that I thought was interesting, so I'll run this by you. Would you be willing to trade Bam Adebayo in a trade for Bradley Beal?
Oh, man.
Put you on the spot. You put me on the spot once a week. I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, I know. Is it just a straight 1-for-1 trade? Like, are we adding obviously other things into the package?
You know what? I just want you to give thought just to the possibility, and the fact, Kai, that you even paused there and didn't give me what I thought would have been, and most likely through this season, should have been an emphatic no. I find interesting on a lot of people's parts when I sort of posited that question to them, what they would do, because in this highly offensive, high-scoring league, it does make you, even at Bradley Beal's age and giving up the 6 or 7 years, and the rebounding and the defense, it at least creates pause where I don't think if I would have asked you that question at the end of last season, at the start of this season, or in the middle of this season, you would have thought about it. So maybe the big two that we thought were so set aren't if Pat Riley is going to be as dramatic as he sounded after yesterday's press conference.
Are we expecting that, though, Ira? Like, are we expecting there to be an actual kind of overhaul of the roster? I know a couple people have been throwing stats out there that the past couple times that there's been a season like this, Pat's kind of gone out and kind of upheaved the roster. Are we expecting like a similar trend?
Well, you have to gauge the competition. So let's look at first things first. The Milwaukee Bucks against the Heat. I mean, I think we could all agree after that series, the Bucks were a much, 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 much better team than the Heat. Correct? The way the Bucks are built right now? I think you'd agree with that, right?
Yes.
So you have that. You have that hurdle. Well, now as we watch the playoffs go on, we'll see what the Brooklyn Nets look like. But we know they have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, so they're going to look pretty good. So I think you do reach a point, where you can bang your head against the wall with what you have. You can say you're just 1 year removed from the NBA Finals, which you are, but it's not as much always about you. Just like when the Heat had the big three, it was the Pacers seeing what else they can do. It was the Celtics deciding whether it was time to cash in or not. It's as much about the competition as about who you are, because all the while, Kai, Jimmy Butler's clock is ticking on the remaining time left on his contract, and ticking on his body clock, 30, 31, 32, 33, getting on years with the time he has left with the Heat. So you have to look at it that way. So, I think Milwaukee and Brooklyn, maybe not Philly as much. I'm not as sold on Joel Embiid's health, but at least those two teams, I think they make you re-examine who you are. Because what are you playing for? Are you playing to get out of the first round? Are you playing to get to the conference finals? Or are you playing for a championship? And if it's either of the last two, you have to assess the other teams in conjunction to assessing where you stand.
Ira, one of the last things I want to ask here as we start to round out the segment, and of course, thank you again for joining us here. the bubble team thing, the bubble fraud sort of situation everyone wants to get to. Of course, after the Heat lost in 4, the only team to get swept in the first round, everyone was super on the Heat are bubble frauds, or this, or that.
Right.
Now the Lakers are out. And the Suns, I mean, to their credit, the Suns took it to the Lakers 2 straight games. I mean, 30-point win the other night, and then last night they win and eliminate LeBron. Do you think it's more of a shorter offseason for those teams that were in the finals, in the Heat and in the Lakers, coming into the season? And I know both teams never really had a great bill of health the entire season, more than it is just, they were bubble frauds.
Yeah, I think the bubble frauds thing is stupid. I think last season might have been as pure a basketball as we have or ever will see again, because it was just about basketball. It wasn't about travel. It wasn't about COVID infections. I mean, compared to this season, everyone was safe in the bubble last season. I think it was absolutely the quick turnaround and the compacted nature of the season that followed. Again, the Heat, the Celtics, the Lakers, 3 of the Final 4. I mean, people almost forget Denver was a Final 4 team last year because no one really had expectations and they were more of a surprise than anything. So, yeah, I do. I think these are two. You know what? If you're going to call a team a bubble fraud or say that it's an asterisk season, I believe, Kai, that 2020-21 is as much or more of an asterisk season as last season was. This season we had COVID absences. We had Jimmy Butler missing 10 games, not because of injury, but because of pandemic protocols. So there was nothing normal about this season also. So, yeah, I think anyone who looks back and tries to put asterisk on last season, fine. Put one on this season also. Neither of these seasons have been normal, but you could see from the Heat standpoint, from the Lakers standpoint, from the remaining Celtics standpoint, exhausted teams.
Ira, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Of course, a part of our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat reports. And make sure, if you don't already, follow Ira on his Twitter at Ira Heatbeat, and always participate in his Ask Iras there for the Sun Sentinel. Ira, have a great day, man.
Hey, I'll get everyone traded by next week. We'll have more to talk about. Thanks, Kai.
Hopefully. We'll see, right?
It'll be interesting. Thanks, Kai.
It will. Thank you so much, Ira. Onside Radio understands gaming is a big part of the sports landscape. That's why every day we keep you updated with some of the latest gaming news with Onside Radio's E-Minute, hosted by Toast, myself, and Michael Christian. If you miss it, it's podcasted daily. You can search up Onside Radio on most platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review OnsideRadio.com, the station gamers call home.
This has been the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Report with Ira Winderman. Visit Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard. Come experience the oasis that customers deserve and the dealership that earned Dealer Rater's 2020 Consumer Satisfaction Award at Acura of Pembroke Pines. This is how we do it.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodieAsDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moody-Ass family. Dr. Moody-Ass is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodyHouseDental.com.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Miami Lakes location at 15462 Northwest 77th Court, located in the Ryan Oaks Plaza. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
WLESPN. We've got all your sports.
We're live and local.
If you wake up early enough.
You're so bad, honey.
Tune us in, as long as you're not under a bridge.
Or under any power line.
Ain't it awful?
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnsideRadio.com.
Hey, it's Toast, and no doubt last year hurricane season was one of the craziest we've ever seen. Well, Noah's saying once again, going to be another active season, so you need to call B&T Windows and Doors today and get PGT custom windows and doors installed like I did so that you are fully protected. Listen, there's no better peace of mind than PGT custom windows and doors when you're in the cone of death for a Category 5 storm. Call B&T Windows and Doors today to get set up. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit a shade above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A shade above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A shade above Window Fashions.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Another late inning collapse for the Miami Marlins. They lose 5-3 to the Pirates. The team's back at it tonight. Cody Poteet on the mound for the Fish. First pitch, 7:05. Last night in the NBA playoffs, the Nuggets eliminated the Trailblazers, and the Suns, as we've been talking about all morning, took down the bubble frauds, the bubble fraud champions, and sent LeBron James home in the first round with a 113-100 win. Tonight, the Dallas Mavericks look to do the same thing to the Los Angeles Clippers. Tip-off, 9 p.m. You are listening to the only locally owned South Florida sports talk station. This is OnSideRadio.com.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
Kai Chen Chisholm. That's
there
me.
you are. There you are.
That's me. I'm Kai. What's up, Sean? How's your morning been?
That's going good. I'm just busy, but doing good.
Busy's always kind of good, though, right? You know?
Yeah, for me it is, yeah.
Okay. That's good, then. That's good. That's what my dad always tells me. I'll ask him whenever he's at work. I'll be like, how's work going? He's like, busy. And I'm like, busy's good. And he's like, yes, busy's good. Doesn't like sitting around. And I agree. I don't like that sitting around game.
Yeah, I don't like busy work, but being busy is fun.
Yeah. Yesterday I had a lot of busy work at work, but it was all okay. There's a lot of annoying things. A lot of annoying people. I keep getting into arguments with these tennis players. I don't know why. I'm trying to be a nice guy, but they want to argue with me about everything. Everything. Gosh. There's open courts, so I can't put your name down on the list. Why? Well, I just explained it to you. God, tennis bothers me, man. Bothers the heck out of me. I can't do it.
Can't you just be like, okay, I'll put your name on the sheet and just never contact them, and then when they come back, be like, no court's opened up.
So the way that our system works is that we have we don't do any reservations, so we have a waiting list. So let's say that we have 8 courts. Let's say that 4 of them are currently taken and 4 of them are open. If we have 4 open courts, the way we used to do it before people complained, and then now they're complaining that they can't do it the way we used to do it. Well, if they didn't complain about the first thing, then we would have been able to still do it the way we were doing it. We used to do it that we'll put your name on the waiting list for the next available court, even though courts are open. If you need, let's say it's like you want a court at 6:30 and we're at 6 and courts are open, we'll put your name on the list. Just know, like, it is what it is. Because, it's whatever. Something's coming up and your partner's not going to be here. Whatever. They're going to be here at 6:30. That's fine. It's not too much of a reservation. It's not past an hour. It's okay. Then people complain that was happening. And it was the people who used to do it that were complaining that was happening. And then now we don't do it anymore. So if there's any open courts at all, your name cannot be put down on a list at all. If there's even one open court, if you want to go on to you can't put your name down on the list. You got to wait around. And if you don't come to me, then too bad, so sad. I'm not putting your name on the list, even if you were here before someone else. I don't know who you are. So there's that whole situation. And then, of course, we have this situation where, like, they get mad. Why can't I put my name on the list? Well, we have open courts, and per rules from this person, we're not allowed to do that anymore. So this, and this. And this has been going on for like 3 months now. So yesterday, some lady got her name down on the list because one of my coworkers thought she was a nice person, if I'm going to say it as PG as possible. And I was very frustrated that he did so, but whatever. Put her name on the list. It is what it is. She was supposed to have her court at 6. Doesn't come for the court at 6. Serves up at 6:25 and arguing with me that she had a court at 6 o'clock. And I was like, yes, it's 6:25, and you were not here. The next court I have available is at 7:05. Take it or leave it. And she argues with me all the time. It's the same girl every single time. So yesterday was a frustrating day. But then there was some good things that happened too, We're getting a new TV at work. I'm getting a new chair because I get to take my boss's chair because he's getting a new chair. So it's exciting.
Has the one thing happened yet, or are we still waiting?
The thing that we've talked about off air?
No.
That I've talked about on air? The promotion?
Maybe.
Not yet. I'm still waiting for an email to see if I'm eligible because it has to go through the Human Resources Department.
Okay, never mind. All right, back to sports.
I will get the thing that's great is, and we'll go back to sports here now. The thing that's great is I will get a notification whether I am eligible or not eligible, so that's good. So no matter what, I will get an email. But it was great talking with Ira there. And actually, you know what? To stick on tennis, I do want to stick on this, not on a tennis scale from my point of view, but on a tennis scale from the tennis land point of view. I know we talked about Naomi Osaka earlier on in this week, and I think that it's great. Still think that it's great that she came out and she had to say what she had to say. I still think that it's a little bit unfortunate how it went, but I think this should open up some eyes, not only in tennis, but in the landscape of things happening with media, because I do think that there are some media personalities and some media people that ask some straightforward questions and ask some things, and they're to the point. They get what they need to get to, and they do what they need to do, and I think that that's great. I think there's a lot of media personalities that do a great job. I also, however, think that there's a lot of stuff that happens in media that's not so fantastic. And I do think that sometimes media, both in sports and in general, can be a little bit predatory in how they ask people questions and how they go about the ways that they do things. So I do want to say that I hope that in the future we get some good things out of the media here.
But also, you're talking about a sport in tennis that has a lot of world reporters, not necessarily like your local reporters or your U.S. reporters only. So there's probably different standards and different questioning. Maybe their questions aren't meant
in Europe,
to weigh.
they're ruthless.
Yeah, but maybe they're not coming across because
Bad.
the way she's normally
Yeah.
asked questions by the U.S. reporters when, again, they're a little more straightforward over there. So when they ask a question, it may seem like they're trying to be ruthless, but they're really just trying to get the question. But the way it's asked and the way they, I don't want to say come at the individual or the person, is different than you get here in the U.S., where it's a little bit more lax, and you see reporters try to, almost like befriend the athlete because they're trying to get stories.
Yeah, no, and I think the perfect example I can give with this, but in general, I think that I hope that certain areas in which we ask some players some questions or that we continue, because it does happen, it does happen here in the U.S. at sometimes. I think that it would be great if we can continue to try to strive to sometimes like keep a little bit of a lower perspective on how we do certain things and try to ask players questions, because I think at times it can get a little bit too much. So I do think that this should hopefully be a pillar into what we see here in the future of hopefully getting on some great stuff that that happens with reporting, and hopefully we can get some fantastic reporting as well and continue to get great stuff and also be able to have these athletes feel safe and comfortable what they're doing. And I think one suggestion that, and I don't want to take away anything from the mental health point of view. And if you take this away and you think that I'm trying to be a little bit bad on that, you go back and listen to what I said earlier on in the week, and you will definitely know I'm not trying to take anything away there.
Yeah, and if I came across that way, that's not what I was trying to say. I'm just saying there's a different way of questions being presented from different reporters depending where they're from.
Yeah, of course. No, yeah. I just want to make that because Dan Patrick earlier this week, and in the middle of the segment, because I was watching it because I like Dan Patrick, I like the show that they have, and I was watching it because I was talking about Naomi Osaka, and I was watching a lot of stuff about her. I really was upset with how everything was going in the conversation because it just sounded like that standard old, wow, blah, blah, blah. She's like having mental health issues. And then he started to really, really talk about it. And then I was like, okay, this is not what I'm perceiving it to be. This is okay, let's keep listening. Let's go through. I mean, I was going to keep listening anyways, but let's keep listening. Let's get through it. And he mentioned something that I think could have been beneficial for what they should have done instead of threatening to fine her. If the way that they could have worked with Naomi Osaka and said, hey, do you still want to play in this tournament? If she says, I want to play in the tournament, I just don't want to do any media. Okay. Is there any way, the way that they could have approached her, which I think Dan Patrick, I think it could have been beneficial for her and for everyone if she wanted to play and everything like that. They could have gone about in the way where they could have said, instead of, okay, we're going to fine you $20,000, they could have said, okay, well, is there any reporter that you feel extremely comfortable talking to that will give you maybe 10 minutes or whatever it is like that to kind of go through so that you can still play and this and that? I think that would have been way more beneficial for
that would have been more beneficial before the tournament. You can't, in the middle of a tournament, be like, okay, she's only going to speak with one reporter.
Right.
Reporters are not going to be able to. Again, if that was established beforehand, possibly. But as the tournament's going, you can't tell certain media they can't talk to this person or that person, you know. But again, that's something that possibly can be looked at as it's going down the line. Yeah, definitely.
Just because I think that I definitely, like, he made a point, and as he was saying it, as he was talking, I was just a little bit like, Dan, I don't think you're kind of getting the thing. And as he went more into it, I was like, you know what? Maybe in the future, like you said, like that could be something that could be beneficial. But I do want to, as we were talking about tennis, want to stay on that a little bit because I was going to talk about it anyways later. So. And
then also, I don't know if you noticed, but Ashley Barty had to drop out of an injury.
Oh, okay.
She withdrew from the Open as well.
Some things just aren't going to be as exciting. I can't wait for these tennis people to talk about it for me today as well because they're going to be talking about it because they were talking about it yesterday. So, Inter Miami CF fans, join us for every road game as we broadcast live from Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano. Join Big O and Alex Dono and enjoy delicious food, incredible house drafts, and giveaways. Inter Miami CF fans, your new home for every road game is Dangerous Minds Brewing Company in Pompano at 1901 North Federal Highway. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and on Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Hey, It's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., listen to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard, brought to you by Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world. Stout Bar features Clonakilty whiskeys, the world's best Irish whiskey.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right, getting ready to round out the hour. Getting ready to get on to the second hour and get into the weekend. Hopefully, not a lot of things happening unless you're going to watch U21 soccer. I suggest you do. U21 Euros, they are happening. They are happening. I'll talk about that a little bit more in depth in the second hour, just because at the top of the second hour. Just because I've been extremely excited. Not only just because Germany has been doing fantastic, might I add. Florian Wirtz yesterday, what a player. What a player. And he did a great job. You know, actually, a quick question, and we could focus this on Florian Wirtz really quick here. Sean, if I can get you for a second. Florian Wirtz plays for the U21 national team there for the U21 Euros. It's not completely under 21. It's anything pretty much born 1998 or later. So I could have played if I wanted to, 23 years old, if I was, in there and ready. Can you guess? He scored 2 goals yesterday. He has a valuation right now on the market of $50 million. So probably like 45 million euros, something like that. Can you guess how old Florian Wirtz is?
17.
He recently turned 18.
Oh.
He was 17 throughout the season,
So
one of the
close.
youngest scorers in the Bundesliga history, the first person to ever score 5 goals before turning 18 years old. He has a $50 million evaluation. He was born May 3rd, 2003. And he barely missed out on making the senior roster.
Get paid, young man. Get paid.
Yeah. I mean, he signed. So this is the great thing with Florian Wirtz as well. He signed from FC Köln, the part of the under 17 team, at the top of the, I guess, winter transfer window in 2020, and moved to Leverkusen's under 19 team. He did that move for $220,000. He is now evaluated at $50 million. So if you're FC Köln, what a horrible, horrible transfer, because this man now is worth just a ridiculous amount of money. But he's doing good. The U21s so far have been very entertaining. The final will be this Sunday, Portugal against Germany. 2 teams that should be going off great. Speaking of other German things going around and big signings kind of in the world of soccer, Thomas Tuchel, German head coach, who I wanted on part of Bayern Munich for so long, could never make it happen. Of course, he was at Dortmund. That's a rivalry with Bayern that was probably never going to happen with him becoming the manager. He has signed a contract extension with Chelsea. Took them to the Champions League final. They won the Champions League final. Super, super proud for Thomas Tuchel. I think he deserves it. And he's getting a contract extension until 2024, so he'll get a 3-year deal. And then Thiago Silva has also signed a contract extension. Of course, he came from PSG, and then he wins the Champions League there with his former manager at PSG and Thomas Tuchel. So congratulations to the both of them. Rounding out hour number 1 and then getting ready to get into hour number 2, in which we'll speak with Alex Aguirre, part of some Marlins talk. And start your morning every day, 8 a.m. with Toasted Sports. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight and being wrong about Wawa. Download, subscribe, rate, and view the podcast Toasted Sports, 8 to 10 a.m. only at OnsideRadio.com.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Onside Radio. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
Hey, it's Toast. Last year when I had PGT custom windows and doors installed in my house by B&T Windows and Doors, I knew about the hurricane protection. What I didn't know? The silence. Oh my goodness, my house is so quiet now. One of those cars goes tearing down the street with the crazy loud muffler. Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. It's unbelievable. I didn't realize how noisy my house was beforehand. You've got to get PGT custom windows and doors installed in your pad today. Call B&T Windows and Doors, 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
OnsideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers? Yes!
Here's your Onside Radio E-Report with Toast.
EA Sports just released its crazy new dodgeball game Knockout City, and for the launch, it put together a special promotion. The full game would be free to play up until May 30th, after which you could pay $19.99 on the platform of your choice if you wanted to keep playing. Easy enough. But Sunday, EA threw us a curveball. They announced that if you missed that window to try Knockout City without paying for it, you can still check it out without dropping a dime. The game is now free to try up until you level up your street rank to level 25. That level cap should give you a good few hours of playtime to try Knockout City for yourself and then decide if you want to pay full price for it. Happy gaming.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the Onside Radio E-Report.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the hosts, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of Onside Radio ownership, management, sponsors, websites, or Inter Miami Marketing LLC.
It's time for Kai's Corner on OnsideRadio.com. To talk to Kai, dial 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. To reach out on the text line, it's 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm on your home for sports talk, OnsideRadio.com.
We open up hour number 2, and I was like, oh man, I'm about to cry. And then Sean asked me, what's up? I am that man, Kai Chen Chisholm. You can follow me on Twitter, of course, at Samurai Radio. That's at SAMURAIIRADIO. The reason why I feel like tears are about to be brought into my eyes here, which has just got to be someone's cutting onions. ESPN has tweeted out, or NFL at ESPN, or NFL on ESPN, whatever it is, tweeted out that a heart donor has been found for Greg Olson's 8-year-old son. So Greg Olson's son, of course, he came out and he made some comments about his son just a little bit ago, and now they're saying kind of the statement is TJ has a long road ahead of him, but today is a huge step forward from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you for the outpouring of support. So, of course, obviously he still has a lot of things to get to, a huge road ahead of him, but the ability for him to have a heart transplant donor, hopefully everything goes well for the Olson family. I think that's a great step forward, and it's a little bit it's about to make me a little bit upsetty there, because I think that's awesome, and my heart and soul goes out to the Olson family still, and I'm glad and happy that at least they can get this road here and this outlet here, so they're able to hopefully come and end a dark chapter of their life and have something great coming forward for them and their family and their son TJ. So I think that's awesome, and it just popped up on my timeline. It was tweeted out earlier this morning, but it just popped up on my timeline. So I'm very happy and glad for them. But of course, we are talking about soccer here in this beautiful segment, because June, and shout out to Fox Sports. I want to give them a shout out for Fox Soccer, because no, I'm not going to do that. They tweeted out a graphic earlier this month. Of course, this month only 4 days old, but they tweeted out on the 1st, kind of detailing all of the soccer that it's going to be must see to watch, right? So yesterday, of course, we had World Cup qualifiers going on. You had Mexico playing, you had the U.S. playing. Now we'll get Mexico against the U.S. on the 6th for the Nations League final there for CONCACAF. Then you also had a friendly between Portugal and Spain today. Then on the 6th, I think it might be a part of the Nations League. I'm not so sure actually on that one. But let me make sure actually. UEFA Nations League. Let's make sure that I don't misquote this, because I don't think that they're doing anything right now. They are not. Cool. Yeah. So I'm still right. It is just a friendly. So they have a friendly between Portugal and Spain today. That should be very entertaining. Then on Sunday, not only do you have the Nations League final at night, you also have Belgium against Croatia. That's a huge game. And then you have World Cup qualifiers for Cotton Bowl on the 8th on Tuesday. Then on the 9th, the U.S. plays again, and they're going to be playing against Costa Rica, who Mexico played against yesterday. So they'll play. And then the U.S. women's team will play against Portugal's women's team on the 10th. Then the 11th, Honduras plays against Mexico, and the Euros start. And then from the 11th all the way until the 29th, every single day except the 24th and 25th will feature a UEFA European competition. And then, so you have the 11th, the 12th, the 13th. The U.S. women's team also plays on the 13th against Jamaica. Then you'll have also on top of that, Copa America will start on the 13th. So 13th, not only you have Euros, not only you're going to have Copa America starting, you're also going to have the U.S. women's national team playing against Jamaica. That's going to be awesome. That on FS1, by the way. So you can watch the U.S. women's team play on FS1. Same thing next Thursday on the 10th, FS1. Then you have Copa America and Euros 14th. Euros 15th. The 16th, you have the U.S. women's playing again. Doesn't say if it's on FS1 or not. Then you have Euros again. Then Copa America, Euros. Copa America, Euros. Then you come back on the 19th. You got Inter Miami against DC United. You have the Galaxy against the Seattle Sounders. And then you have the Euros. Then the 20th, Copa America, Euros. 21st, Copa America, Euros. 22nd, Euros. 23rd, both of them. 24th, Copa America final. 25th, here in Miami, the battle of the state. Miami against Orlando City. Inter Miami CF, of course, against Orlando City on the 25th. The 26th, the Galaxy plays, and you got the Euros again. The 27th, you got more Euros. And it wasn't the Copa America final, excuse me, but you got the Euros again. Then I believe the Copa America final on the 28th, the European final on the 29th, and you end off the month with Mexico playing on the 30th. If you are not a fan of world football right now, you should be watching. There is going to be not only with the Euros, not only with CONMEBOL, World Cup qualifiers, not only with women's soccer, not only with Copa America, the MLS is going to be going on. You'll have Inter Miami back on the 19th. You've had a lot of great games in the MLS recently. To the credit of the MLS, you've had so many great games. It really has been entertaining. 19th, they come back for Inter Miami. You'll be able to watch them play. That against DC United away. Then you come back on the 25th. You'll have Inter Miami just back again. Along with all of these matchups for this June month of soccer is so fantastic. The Copa America is a little right now because, they moved it into Brazil. So it'll be in Brazil. But you have just such a great slate of games coming up this month. It is going to, Sunday alone, you get to watch Belgium and Croatia, the Nation League's final with the U.S. against Mexico, and then also the U21 Euros, which isn't featured on this, but you should have that final. That's going to be against Portugal and Germany. The month of soccer, June, it says it in the graphic, must-see soccer. It is must-see soccer. These are games that are going to be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You got back-to-back days on the 9th and 10th of U.S. soccer. You got the men's on the 9th against Costa Rica, the women's against Portugal on the 10th. And they break it down. It's going to be on FS1. Go watch it. Especially if you're a fan of soccer. My God, this U.S. women's national team is fantastic. They are outstanding. And especially to watch them play, they are so outstanding. You can go ahead and go watch them. The U.S. men's national team has some faith. You can go out there and watch them. And then again, just the Euros, man. The Euros are going to be so, so good. You have some insane groups that you can watch, especially if you want to go ahead and watch Group F. You can watch Portugal, Germany, France, and Hungary. 4 really powerhouses. Hungary is starting to get back to better in terms of world football. They're not powerhouses yet. They used to be powerhouses way, way, way back in the 1950s and the 1960s. They're not at that same level anymore. But you have this situation where the Euros are going to be so, so great. And Copa America, I think everyone believes that Brazil will win the Copa America, and now it's going to be in Brazil. But man, that's going to be entertaining, so entertaining. If you don't like soccer, or you sat there and you thought to yourself, hey, you know what, soccer is it's a little bit boring. It's not for me. I really do encourage you, go ahead and in June, just take a second to go out there and watch one of these games. Because they are truly going to be fantastic. And it's not just like, oh, you have one Euro game on the 12th. No. It's like you have a ridiculous amount of Euro games that you'll be able to watch. And they're going to be fantastic. It all starts on Friday the 11th. So next Friday, the Euros begin. And it's going to be insane. You start on Friday with Turkey and Italy. Shout out to Dono. That game should be fantastic. A lot of people are really liking the Turkish national team right now. Italy's national team should be very good as well. That'll be a fantastic game. Switzerland yesterday in a friendly absolutely thrashed Liechtenstein. I was sitting there watching it in an undisclosed location, and in said location, when we got to the location, they were up 3-0. Then there was an own goal. They won the game 7-0. They'll go off against Wales on Saturday. And that Saturday slate, you just have such great games. Wales, Switzerland at 9 a.m. Denmark, Finland at 12. That should be a good game. Denmark played a really, really good game against Germany the other day. Then Belgium, Russia. Who knows how that's going to be. That'll also be at 3 p.m. Kind of like a wash. Who knows really if Russia's going to show us what they showed us in the 2018 World Cup at home. Then you start the next morning on Sunday morning with England and Croatia. That's going to be a fantastic game. Austria, North Macedonia, who knows? Because Austria hasn't won a game in quite some time. North Macedonia recently beat Germany. So there is some kind of hope there, but they're kind of one of those lower nations. Then again in that weekend, you have Netherlands and the Ukraine. I mean, that slate from Friday to Sunday. Turkey, Italy, Wales, Switzerland, Denmark, Finland, England, Croatia, and then Netherlands, Ukraine. That is 5 games alone. That should be fantastic. And then Austria, North Macedonia could be good, but those are 5 games alone from Friday to Sunday. That will be fantastic to watch. Then you're going to have Poland against Slovakia if you want to watch Robert Lewandowski. Hungary versus Portugal on Tuesday. And then you have France versus Germany on Tuesday as well. These are going to be fantastic games. And the group stage doesn't finish until the 23rd. So you'll have all the way up until the 23rd, 2 weeks to watch all these group games. And we won't have the final until the 11th of July. So they'll run us all the way until the end of June, and then they'll run us into July. It's going to be fantastic to watch, and I encourage you to do so. And then to talk about the U21 Euros, just because I feel like I've been hyping them up, and I've been telling everyone, I've been saying, listen, these U21 Euro games, they've been insane. They've been so much fun to watch, and they've just been great games. You've been having great competition. You've been having great games to watch. Yesterday was one that was amazing to watch again. I mean, if we just detail what happened in the quarterfinals on Monday, Spain beat Croatia. Netherlands came back 1 down and beat France. Portugal beat Italy 5-3. Sorry, Dono. And then Germany and Denmark went to penalties, in which Germany was able to win, something that they usually don't do as U21s. Then Portugal beat Spain yesterday 1-0. The Netherlands lost to Germany 2-1. 2 opening goals by Florian Wirtz. And now the final this Sunday at 3 p.m., Germany against Portugal. That is going to be such a good game. I mean, you have some teams that you can possibly get out of both of these sides. The Germany side that they had, very strong. Very, very strong. But the Portugal side that you're going to see, they have some guys there that you look at and you can say, oh, man, this guy could be something. I mean, one of them didn't even play yesterday, and Tomas Tavares. He did not even see the field. And he's another one that's there. That's one of those young talents that they could possibly have come up, and one of those young guys that you can see really go out there and make an impact. That game on Sunday is going to be fantastic, and I encourage you, if you have not watched any of it, and in general, if you haven't watched anything here from the month of June, it's going to be insane. You have the U.S. men's team playing, then you have Copa America, so you'll be able to watch them, and you watch everything else like that. You have the U.S. women's national team playing a few games. I believe it's 3 games in total. Then you have the Euros. Then you have the MLS. Then you have just other friendlies as well. This is the Nations League final this Sunday. It is going to be some insane, insane soccer to watch. So coming up next, we're going to talk with Alex Aguirre. We'll talk to him about a bunch of Marlins stuff and get some talk and see how Alex feels about his favorite team, and then just in general with the Marlins. And then, of course, every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m., you can catch Alex for his show, Deep Into the Count. You can catch his show as he talks about the Marlins and all the big stories that are happening in the major leagues every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. If you are one of those guys that loves baseball, you have a new home. You can listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. And you'll get to take home your own boot and Checkers Old Munchin t-shirt. They also have outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music, as well as carry-out, curbside pickup, and delivery. So, for the finest German food and beer, get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant, or call them for reservations at 954-785-7565. That's 954-785-7565. We'll see you at Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
In July, another bare knuckle battle goes down. July 16th as BYB Extreme showcases another fight card at Hard Rock Hollywood. As we get ready for another bare knuckle battle, let's find out more about the fighters, like the Hialeah champ, Rene Whiteboy Rodriguez. Rene is one of the original backyard brawlers at Dada 5000's Greenhouse. The YouTube sensation stands 5'11", 185 pounds, and stands with an undefeated record of 13-0. Whiteboy is a YouTube sensation who represents Hialeah and is ready for the Trigon Challenge. The Trigon, the smallest and most confrontational ring in combat sports. Renee's experience stretches from MMA to the backyard. Don't miss Rene Whiteboy Rodriguez as he faces Matt Delanoid in the semifinal round of the 185-pound championship tournament. Don't miss BYB6 live at Hard Rock Hollywood July 16th. Watch it on stonefaces.tv. BYB is proudly sponsored by BMCHam.com. BMCHam.com, your choice for gold and silver.
This Inter Miami CF Minute is brought to you by Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world and a great place to watch Inter Miami CF. Stout features Clonakilty whiskeys, the world's best Irish whiskey.
Inter Miami have some very exciting prospects and names to be excited about as they're now making their names for themselves on the international stage. As we know, Jovan Jones is a Trinidad and Tobago regular, and he has been called up to the national team during this international break. Unfortunately, Rodolfo Pizarro did not play last night in the CONCACAF Nations League semifinal for Mexico against Costa Rica. I don't know if he's with the squad at the moment, but also Darren Reyes, a Fort Lauderdale CF player, a 17-year-old Cuban international, came off the bench last night against the British Virgin Islands and scored a goal en route to their 5-0 victory. Shout out Darren Reyes.
Keep up with the latest on La Rosa Negra by subscribing on most platforms. Search Onside Radio. Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right, getting ready to talk with Alex Aguirre, coming on and talking some Marlins with him. He, of course, hosts the Deep Into the Count show here from 1 to 2 p.m. every single Saturday, where he gets to talk about the Marlins, and I'm sure at times Alex definitely gets to be a little bit upset with what's happening with his Marlins team. Alex, good morning, man. How you doing?
Good morning, Kai. I'm doing well. Can't speak the same for the Marlins, but you know what? It's a new day. They go against the Pirates, second worst team in the National League. So, hopefully they can turn it around. But, yeah, I'm ready to talk a lot of Marlins with you, Kai. How are you?
I'm doing great. It is what it is kind of type of thing with me right now. Of course, watching the Marlins as much as I possibly can. And you mentioned it, they're not really going against a great team in the Pirates, but they lost yesterday. How are you kind of feeling about that game? Of course, losing 5-3. What do you make of what was happening there on the field?
Well, it was a good game. Marte's back. He's been back for a couple games now. He got a base hit. That's good. Aguilar, his bat's been getting a bit cold recently, but you know what? They've had the lead. They had the lead 3-2 going into the eighth, and they had their eighth inning man in that role with Dylan Floro. He's been the go-to guy. He's been phenomenal all year, and unfortunately, it was his turn in blowing a lead, I guess, because Yimi Garcia blew the save the night before in Buffalo against the Blue Jays. And Dylan Floro, he's been great. It's one of those, blunders that, well, it happens. They can't be perfect all season. They're going to have their hiccups. The problem is, and the concern for me now moving forward, is the usage of the bullpen. Just to put in perspective for you, Kai, Dylan Floro, who was the reliever in the eighth inning yesterday, he had 25 appearances in the 2020 season, in the shortened 60-game season.
Right.
We're through 55 games already, and Dylan Floro has made his 26th appearance. So that just tells you the usage of this bullpen has been a lot more compared to last year, and that's the tale of not having Sixto Sanchez. The Marlins had Eliezer Hernandez back. Finally, he made his debut yesterday, and unfortunately he got hurt, and he was pitching very well last night. But last season, the Marlins had a little more depth at the starting rotation to take away that ease from that bullpen. The Marlins also benefited from those 7-inning doubleheaders. They took advantage of that, and starters were able to go complete games in those games. So, it's just a lot of factors that play into it. Maybe it's a bit of fatigue with the bullpen, but it's another story of the Marlins just not scoring enough runs. 3 runs is not going to win you a lot of ball games at the end of the day. And for the past 2.5 weeks, that's how many runs they've been averaging per game, 3 runs, which is in the bottom third of Major League Baseball.
I mean, and they're also on just a hell of a skid right now as well. I mean, your last win being on May 26th, now that's not too far away from where we're sitting here. It's just about a week and a half ago, but I mean, you lose to the Phillies in that final game of that series. You lose to the Red Sox back-to-back, 5-2, 3-1. You get blown out by the Blue Jays in the first game. Then in the second game, you lose by 1. Now you lose against the Pirates after having a lead there, and you give up 3 in that bottom of the 8th. I mean, is it just kind of this thing with the Marlins where you're going to see them go on some of these skids where they go on a hot run, the bats are hot, the pitching's doing well, they win a few games, and they just go on one of these skids again?
Well, that's expected for young teams, and the Marlins are an extremely young team. A lot of players are making their debuts or they're in their second year. Jazz is coming to his own. He's obviously the premier prospect right now that's been playing this season for the Marlins. But, yeah, this is normal in a way for young teams to go up and down in these type of roller coasters. But after last season, fans and a lot of people in Miami, they had a feeling that they can be more competitive than this. With the bats in that lineup, that was the main issue going to the season. Can they score enough runs to complement the quality pitching that they have? And it's no surprise that's what's going on this whole time this season for the Marlins. But this is the moment. This is the moment now to snap out of this skid. You're facing, like I said, starting the segment, that the Pirates are the second worst team in the National League. They're rebuilding. These are the games that you're supposed to win if you want to remain competitive in a division, which is very weak right now. So this is the worst time, actually, that the Marlins can be doing this because everyone else is struggling. Everyone else in their division is handling injuries as well, like the Mets. The Mets are at the top of the division.
Hell yeah, we are.
6.5 games in front of the Marlins, but they have their own core of injuries as well to deal with, and the Marlins have not been able to take advantage of that. Facing teams that are not very good, like the Pirates and the Blue Jays going into that series, that quick 2-game series. The Blue Jays, I believe, lost their last 4 out of 5. They were struggling as well, and the Marlins weren't able to capitalize. And it doesn't help either that Brian Anderson and Miguel Rojas, the left side of the infield for the Marlins, they're out with injury. Miguel Rojas is having a solid season. BA is a quality bat in that lineup. And now they're for a few games in this 6-game losing streak, the Marlins were fielding practically a B team. A lot of these guys were, in the minor leagues this season, And like Jose Devers is an example that he hasn't played above single A, and the Marlins were so riddled with injuries that in the infield that they needed somebody, so they called him up. So that it's a lot. Like I said, a lot of factors play into this, but in a time when you're not it's not good to be losing all these games in a row because everyone else is struggling. The Marlins still have an opportunity to bounce back and kind of salvage this road trip. Like I said, they have 3 more games with the Pirates, and they have 1 more game, the makeup game at Fenway against the Red Sox. So they can come out of this road trip not with a winning record, obviously, but with some wins in the column to gain some ground in the NL East, because that at this point, if they continue this skid of if it goes to maybe double digits, or they win 2 more games, but then in the last 10 they go 2-8, then you're entering the dog days of summer, June and July. That's when teams start separating. The better teams start separating from the other teams in their division, and that's what you don't want to see as a Marlins fan. Things start getting a little worse. But I have a feeling that they can turn this around against a struggling Pirates team, and they're going to go home. I think the Marlins just want to go home, right? Go back home after this crazy road trip. And this, it was raining all the time in Fenway. Then you go, instead of going to Toronto, you got to go to Buffalo and then play in a field that, you're not really familiar with. And then you got to go to Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden, bam, you get this slap in the face against the Pirates. A game that was very easily winnable, and it's unfortunate, but just to wrap up your my answer to your question, Kai, I think the Marlins are going to snap out of this skid very soon, because they know they have an opportunity to compete in this division and fight for a wild card spot.
And with that, and we're talking with Alex Aguirre. He's the host of the Deep Into the Count show here on Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. here at Onside Radio. And you can also find it in podcast form if you miss any of the segments or any of the shows as well. To get into that right now, I mean, you're seeing kind of, and this is towards my expectation. I know me as someone who doesn't keep track of baseball as much until we get into October, because that's when I find baseball to be entertaining. Of course, everyone I feel like finds that as well. There were more expectations from a lot of teams in this division, was there not? I mean, the Mets of course, they're at the top of the division right now, but there was some expectations coming with the new ownership and some other things. They get the Lindor contract right before the season starts, kind of squared away. The Braves have been good for a couple seasons now, and you had some expectations out of them, and they're not really doing too hot. And then, of course, the Marlins. I mean, I feel like there were a lot of expectations, like you just said, of having this team and seeing these guys that you're like, okay, we got some young guys. Things are going good. I remember, I was coming in every single time. I'm like, Jazz Chisholm doing great. Jazz Chisholm. And then, of course, he gets injured, and he was playing yesterday, got a hit. But, kind of, it's been a little bit different than what we saw at the beginning of the season and what our expectations were coming into the season. Do you expect them to separate, like you said, coming into that summer and being able to go out and being one of those teams that shows themselves as being one of those top teams in our division, and let alone just in the NL in general?
Well, on paper, the Mets going to the season, rotation-wise, lineup-wise, they were stacked. And they are stacked. Obviously, they have their injuries and their problems to deal with. But on paper, yeah, they belong in the top of the division in the conversation with the Atlanta Braves. They're, like I said, we're only 55 to 58, depending on, the other team schedules and whatnot.
Right.
We're not even halfway through the season yet. And I feel like once you reach the 80-game mark, the 90-game mark around there, that's when the true colors of the team start showing, okay, this team is going to start separating. This team is going to probably, hover around 500, and this team is just going to be below in the bottom of the pack. And with the Mets, if they can come back and regroup and get those core guys back, I feel like they can definitely make a run and for a top, because right now they have the division lead. So all they need is to get these guys back healthy, and that they can start producing when they come back from injury. Yeah, they can. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they are at the top of the division when it's all said and done. But I wouldn't count out the Braves. The Braves, they've dominated this division for the past 30 years, it seems like, and they're going to hang around. They're going to be there. They're too talented, and there's too much on the line, especially for that franchise of winning now, because that's been the story of that franchise, that they have always great regular seasons, and when it's time to perform in the playoffs, they just can't even make it to the World Series. But still, though, we're in the regular season right now. The Atlanta Braves are a very talented team. I wouldn't count them out. Those are my top 2 teams right now for the National League East, which is the Marlins division as well.
Right.
But like I said, it's very crowded right now. It's still very early. And the Marlins have shown a lot of resiliency this whole year. They've had some up and downs. They've had players go down with injury and has still battled and remained competitive because they're still not out of it in my eyes. So I just, to answer your question, I just think that the Mets and the Braves are going to headline the division, but you're going to have a team like the Marlins who maybe might make a run for it. I'm not going to say they're going to be a 95-win team, but if you can get 80 to 85 wins, you put yourself in the conversation of maybe a wild card spot. So the Marlins can't still the opportunity to be scratching that surface. But if they continued like this, then no, I don't see them, probably another 70, 75 win campaign, which is what was expected from this team. But with the rest of the division playing so bad, it has opened our eyes like, hey, maybe the Marlins can make a deeper run, for a playoff spot. Who knows? It's still a very long season left. So, and the Marlins are missing some guys. Sixto, he's been shut down for a couple of days, and people are saying he might have to be shut down for the season. And if that happens, then yeah, I would probably put a nail in the coffin for the Marlins season because they don't have enough oomph in their starting rotation without Sixto and Eliezer. You have Rogers, Sandy Alcantara, and Pablo Lopez, but you need a little more help. And like I said, the bullpen usage, it's going to be something to keep an eye on as we get into the deeper parts of the summer. That usage, because we don't see starting pitchers go 7 innings plus in every start, no matter if they give up 4 runs or not. It doesn't matter. If you give up 4 or 5 runs, you can still have the opportunity to go 7 innings at least back then. Now, you give up 4 or 5 runs, you're probably out in the 4th inning. Things are a lot different now. Bullpen guys are being a lot more used for multiple innings. So it's baseball's changed a lot, so it's hard to gauge how teams are going to go because the pitching has changed completely. But the Mets right now are an unfortunate team right now because of all the injuries. But I'm a fan of the Lindor signing. He needed a change of scenery, and there's something. It's a star that that's meant for New York. He has the big smile, the great plays. He's the flair for the dramatic. Right. He's been in the World Series. That's great for New York. That's awesome for New York.
I love it as a Mets fan. I absolutely love it just because I love any time that the Mets are doing good, I love to see it. Alex, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. And, of course, if you want to hear more stuff about baseball in general or just even about the Marlins, if you are a Marlins fan here in Miami or anywhere else you might be, of course, make sure to tune in for Alex's show here every single Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. called Deep Into the Count. And also, if you missed anything, you can also find that in podcast form by searching it up on most of the platforms. Alex, have a great rest of your day, man.
Thank you, Kai. Appreciate it, man. Let's go fish.
Of course. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate you coming on, man. Catch a South Florida staple every afternoon as Alex Donno hosts the Man of the Match from 3 to 6 p.m. Donno covers everything from football to MMA. Tune into one of the most complete sports shows in the country with the Man of the Match with Alex Donno, 3 to 6 p.m. exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
Now streaming online. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you want a perfectly straight smile without braces, you can count on MoodiasDental.com. A stunning smile is within reach. Learn more about Invisalign. Find out why so many trust the Moodias family. Dr. Moodias is an inventor and has several patents on innovative surgical instruments that are used around the world. Experience a family environment and trust on a worldwide level. From implants to crowns to a beautiful Invisalign smile. Call 305-821-0231. That's 305-821-0231. Or go to the website at MoodiasDental.com.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Miami Lakes location at 15462 Northwest 77th Court, located in the Ryan Oaks Plaza. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
WLESPN. We've got all your sports.
We're live and local.
If you wake up early enough.
You're so bad, honey.
Tune us in, as long as you're not under a bridge.
Or under any power line.
Ain't it awful?
South Florida's choice for sports talk. OnSideRadio.com.
Hey, what's up? It's Toast, and I've been telling you guys all about my buddies over at B&T Windows and Doors. And some of you said, hey, listen, Toast, I'd love to get PGT custom windows and doors installed, but funds are a little tight right now. No problem, bro. Y Green. You can finance it with B&T Windows and Doors through Y Green, so you can still get your PGT custom windows and doors installed. And yeah, you're not going to have to put anything down. It's awesome. That's the way I got mine installed. Call B&T Windows and Doors today. They'll tell you all about Y Green and how to finance your windows. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A Shade Above Window Fashions.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Another late inning collapse for the Miami Marlins, and they lose 5-3 to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Team's back at it tonight. Cody Poteet on the mound for the Fish. First pitch, 7:05. Easy for me to say. Last night in the NBA playoffs, the Denver Nuggets eliminated the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Phoenix Suns sent LeBron James and the LA Lakers home in the first round. Bubble frauds. Tonight, the Dallas Mavericks look to send the Clippers home. Tip-off set for 9 o'clock. You're listening to the only locally owned South Florida sports talk station. This is OnSideRadio.com.
To Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
I don't like this. Sean, why'd you have to tell me that? I could have read that once I got out of the show. Could have had
Oh, buddy, I can't let you do that.
Ah, man. Sean, you want to let the world know?
Oh, the dream's still alive. 19, baby.
19 apparently will still... Well, we don't know. We don't know yet.
Yeah, it's only, I guess...
It's only training, or it's only OTAs, you know? Anyways, apparently, according to some reporters that are currently watching things going down right now, Jalen Waddle has been muffing some punts, and the accusations are from Sean that it looks like Jakeem Grant might be staying around. It's okay. Deep breaths. Dropped 2 putts in a mildly disconcerting thing so far today, but track record is obviously very good. And then right after that, I see from Omar, Dolphins have a lot of beef on their defensive front. Everyone there is 280-plus club. Man, I just want one day. I just want to see across my timeline. The Miami Dolphins have traded Jakeem Grant for a 7th-round pick in the 2075 NFL Draft. It can be that far back. I wouldn't care. Would not care. He is an elite returner, though. He is an elite level returner, and I will never, ever, ever take that away from him. So we still haven't covered our roundtable for the day, so I want to make sure that we talk about that. You know, we mentioned the frauds were eliminated last night. And in the roundtable question, it says last night, LeBron James and the Lakers, the bubble frauds, were eliminated from the playoffs by the Suns. Last year, the Heat was burned by injuries in the finals. This year, the same issue burned the Lakers. Admit your level of satisfaction watching LeBron James get eliminated. Well, for myself, the perfect example I can give, right? I'm not one who is very, I don't like seeing LeBron fail. I like LeBron. I like LeBron a lot. I'm in the minority, I feel like, for some people, because some people don't, as you just heard from Big O, don't like LeBron. I think, though, as I've said multiple times here on the show, there have been times where I have seen LeBron become very annoying in how he does things. And I've seen LeBron get very annoying with how he goes about his day-to-day activities. And it does kind of piss me off a little bit. However, I think we're getting finally what we all thought. We've been hearing from everyone, all Heat fans and anyone that covers the Heat. All you've been hearing is Heat bubble frauds this, Heat bubble frauds that. What are you going to say now, huh? Coming into the series, everyone wanted to say that it was the Lakers are going to destroy the Suns. Oh, Lakers, Warriors, doesn't matter. Whoever wins that's going to destroy the Suns anyways. They're frauds at a number 2 seed. That's all it is. The bubble, injuries, stuff like that. The Lakers are coming back healthy. Listen, I don't care. People are like, Anthony Davis didn't play this, didn't play that. All right, cool. Doesn't matter. You lost. The Suns beat the Lakers, and they beat the Lakers. It wasn't like they, won like all games close. They put a beat down on this Los Angeles Lakers team. It does not matter if Anthony Davis was there or not. It was so satisfying to watch that, because after hearing for months, bubble fraud this, bubble fraud that, you want to call one team a bubble fraud, then the one that won the championship, call them a bubble fraud as well. Because guess what? They're out, and this Suns team that everyone proclaimed was going to get beat down by the Lakers. Oh, they're still too young. Chris Paul, whatever this, he got injured. Devin Booker is not going to ascend. He's not going to do anything. Look at him right now. Raise the glass to the Suns. Because now for the rest of the playoffs, we don't have to hear anything about how LeBron's going to beat down this team. We don't have to hear anything about how LeBron's going to beat down this player, how this player's not going to be able to do anything. Now we can see new legacies being written in the world of NBA sports, and I am all for it. And I hope tonight that the Mavericks beat the Clippers so we can continue to get more storylines and continue to get more stars out there. I was over the moon to see LeBron James and the Lakers get eliminated, because not just for LeBron. I like LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan. But all we've heard about the Heat is bubble fraud this, bubble fraud that. Now, the bubble frauds, both of them are out of the playoffs in the first round. That is all I have to say about the roundtable, because, hey, it is what it is, and now they are gone. So it makes me happy. It does. But that's all I have to say on the roundtable for today's roundtable. The last of the week as we get to round out into the weekend. And it's been a great show. It has been a great week. I do want to say, actually, I have a better thing here. There's something I saw, and I want to, if you have some time there, Sean. There's a graphic that someone put out, Stephanie Smalls on Twitter. I'm going to retweet it once I get the chance as well, because I think it's kind of cool. It says, the day you were born is the team you get drafted by. And it says, like, example, I guess the example is May. Obviously, it has 32 days. I don't understand, like, why. Obviously, there's 32 teams. I guess no one wants to go to the Bears. That was the 32nd day there. But ironically, I was born on the 5th of March, and my team, if it was by month, it would be the team I'm wearing in jersey right now, the Giants. And if it's by day, which it is, it's Miami Dolphins at 5. Sean, what was the day of your birth? I can tell you what team you're getting drafted by in the NFL.
The 2nd.
You're getting drafted by the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I can do that.
It's a good team.
Killing me, Smalls.
It's a good team. I think that's a good lineup there. It's a very good lineup. Oh, if I could ask you, what day were you born?
Octubre primero.
So you're the Browns.
The first?
Yeah.
Browns?
Yep.
Oh.
That's a good lot. You got Browns, Saints, and
so you wish rain on my ass, and now you put me in the Browns?
The Browns are. This is not my graphic. This is Stephanie Small's graphic on
Kai's
Twitter.
trying to take you out.
I'm telling you, bro.
The Browns aren't a bad team.
You don't really like me, bro.
The Browns.
You got to go to Cleveland.
Yeah, bro.
The Browns aren't a bad team right now. I mean, Cleveland might suck, but the Browns aren't a bad team right now.
I think you just told O to go to hell.
Basically, I got to go to hell in a few months because I got to go see Genesis in concert.
In Cleveland?
In Cleveland, yeah. Yeah.
At least you're going to a
concert.
My
buddy went for the Boston show. You're excited. He picked the Boston show, and I picked the Cleveland show. He picked a big city,
And I said, man, to win the lottery there, it's going to be tough because that's how it was with your Genesis tickets.
You
had to
like
sign up for a lottery so you could get the
Oh.
tickets. So he tried the Boston show, and I go, you know what? Let me try Cleveland because they have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the NFL Hall of Fame.
Right.
So I'll go for a couple days and just do that. I'll go for the concert and that. So I'm already going to hell, but you're going to make me live there. Damn it. Damn
Listen,
it, Kai.
I'm not trying to do to you what Adam Gase thought he was going to do to Jarvis Landry, okay? You know, Jarvis Landry kept saying, Adam Gase sent me to Cleveland to die. And
Yeah.
hey, Cleveland's a good team. They took it to the Chiefs. They almost beat the Chiefs. But anything was possible.
Remember, young man, almost only counts in hand grenades and horseshoes. Okay? Almost doesn't count in anything else.
I know.
Only hand grenades and horseshoes. Okay.
It was, look, I have faith in the Browns. I have a lot of faith in the Browns. Anyways, we're going to round out the hour here in just a little bit as we talk with Big O even more on the Crosstalk. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List in the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Dono for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., listen to Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard, brought to you by Stout Bar and Grill in Oakland Park. With over 40 TVs, Stout is the home for soccer around the world. Stout Bar features Clonakilty whiskeys, the world's best Irish whiskey.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Let's get back to Kai's Corner. You can send Kai a text at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Here's Kai Chen Chisholm.
All right. Getting ready to round out the week. I love the song coming in there. I wish I let it come in a little bit more. But that was... there we go. I love this. It's a great way to round out the week. We have a great song to kind of finish everything off. And, of course, cross-talking with us is Big O as he gets ready for his show here in just a little bit. How you doing, O?
I'm doing great, brother. Can't complain. Feel good. Did 2 straight hours of talk yesterday, so voice bounced back strong today. I wanted to test it out because I did a lot of guests throughout the week in the first couple of days. But yesterday I did no guests, so feeling good, man.
That's good.
Feeling good.
Who do you have coming on today?
Except for you putting me on the damn Browns.
It was to blame Stephanie Smalls, okay?
Killing me, Smalls.
Yeah, she really is. She's killing you there.
Yeah, man. So we got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, there'll be a celebration starting at noon as we celebrate the exit of LeBron James from the playoffs. And, I am the CEO of Team Petty. So I got to tell you, I stayed up for that last night. I stayed up for every second of it. I wanted to see that sumbitch sit there in the podium. And he actually, by the way, I give him credit. He was very professional, and he gave Booker and the boys a lot of credit, and didn't really make a ton of excuses or anything like that.
Right.
Although I'm tired of the excuses they're making for him because, the guy had, over like 6 weeks of rest before the playoffs started? Yeah. So he had an opportunity also to rest. But once Anthony Davis could not play, I tweeted out a picture of Anthony Davis slouched over, and I just put season over because there was no way they were going to win. He's great. I know that. LeBron is great. But that team around him was not going to be good enough to elevate and beat the Suns. The Suns are good, man.
Yeah.
They showed us last year in the bubble at the end. They couldn't qualify, but we saw a taste of it. And then they added CP3, and they added our boy Jay Crowder, who hit some big threes, by the way, yesterday.
It's becoming a theme now with Jay Crowder.
Well, he's a good role player, man.
Yeah,
he's he's a foundational defensive role player that you want on your team. And he's hitting, when he hits threes, it becomes a real bonus for them.
In the bubble.
But they're a good team, dude.
Yeah.
They're a good team, okay? And Ayton, by the way, I still say he looks like a 1970s center. His face, the way he cuts his beard up, I swear he belongs on the Virginia Cavaliers running the floor with Dr. J. I'm serious.
He doesn't look like you're kind of, I guess, like...
He has an old man's face, bro.
I was going to say just in general with, like, the play. He doesn't look like that big scoring kind of center. It's kind of that guy that's going to kind of be a foundational rock, and that's what he's been.
Yeah.
That's really what he's been.
Booker was amazing yesterday, dude.
That's why I'm hoping that Luka puts the nail in the coffin tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, man. I just want to see...
I want to see the Clippers out. Even though now we got to start with the silliness all offseason of, hey, Riley will get Kawhi. Riley will get Kawhi. Riley will get Kawhi.
I love it when I ask
just like the idiots that think somebody's going to be reinstated in August. It's just like, come on, bro. Give me a break. Anyway, go ahead.
That got me. That last part got me a little bit. So, no, I mean, I asked Ira about that like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, hey, Ira, people are going to start putting out the rumor mill. You're going to have Kawhi coming to Miami. He was like, man, like, Kawhi's probably going to stay in L.A., and he's like, even if, obviously we all know that Riley's going to be in every conversation because it's Pat Riley. So he's going to be in every conversation no matter what. There was a conversation we had, and I want to ask you here with like the last little bit that we had before we go in. There was a bit of a conversation with the Danny Ainge stuff and him kind of going down and then Brad Stevens coming up. And even me and Sean were talking like who's going to be that next guy. Because you would assume for the Heat, eventually once Riley's going, you'll have Spo go and he'll move up.
Right.
Do you think there's any pipeline right now? Because we thought maybe Juwan James was the guy. Maybe if they bring David Fizdale back and then maybe they continue to groom him, like, do you think there's any guy that they have right now that can, instead of looking on the outside, they can bring Chris Quinn?
Chris Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Quinn, for sure.
You think he's going to be the kind of that next man up since
I
no
think
Fizdale
he's the next
and
man.
Howard's gone.
He was the player. He's been the assistant for a long time now. He's moved up in that assistant role.
Right.
He's now the right-hand man to Spo. I think he's the next guy in line. Yeah, I think he's the next guy being groomed.
That's what, like another 4
Although
years?
I'm not in a hurry to move Spo out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Spo, I would love to keep Spo. I would love to keep Spo as long as possible. In fact, I would go to this extreme. I would give him the Riley effect if Riley steps down ever.
Of letting him be exec
coach GM like Riley was early on for this team. That he had fun on the side, but really it was Riley running the show.
Yeah.
That I don't mind that until Spo feels. Now, if Spo gets tired of coaching, which, hey, man, everybody gets tired of whatever they're doing for a long, long time. Eventually, you want some kind of a change. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand all of that.
All right, well, hopefully you have a great show as well and continue on some greatness here.
Don't be wishing any damn rain on me here now.
I'm not. Look, it's bright and beautiful outside. I started the show saying it, all right? So hopefully you have a great show. No rain here today,
bring my
hopefully.
umbrella every time.
Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone.
F5.
Stay around and listen on for Big O.
Storms out there and stuff.
We'll be